guys, Happy Conscious Gal here. Oh my god, it's been like 3 weeks since my last vlog and I've almost finished this round. I'm so sorry it's been so long. I kind of feel like a Catholic going into church and saying, you know, forgive me, it's been 3 weeks since my last confession. But I do have a very good reason why it's been so long. I was away traveling and I had no computer, and then I got back here and we had major storms and floods and there was no power for many days, no power, no water, nothing. Finally got back online. I've had problems with my computer, so today is the first day I've actually been able to do a vlog. So I've got a lot to catch up on. I'll probably divide this into 2 parts because I'm likely to see a lot of stuff. So when I last saw you guys, I had basically decided to go back and redo phase 2. And the reason, in case you didn't see that vlog, I'll summarize it very quickly, was because I messed up my phase 3. I accidentally ate something that was full of carbs without realizing it, and I ate it every day, and that thing was raw milk. I thought it was high fat. Turns out it had a lot of carbs in it. I was eating it every day without realizing that, and my weight was going up, 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 and I didn't stabilize. I ended up about, at the worst of it, maybe 7 or 8 pounds above my LIW, and I was like freaking out. I didn't know what was wrong, because I was eating perfect low carb apart from the milk. Anyway, once I realized what had happened, I went into a little bit of a panic because I realized this is my final round. I need to stabilize properly so that I lock in this new weight that I'm at, so that I can stay here forever, because I don't really want to keep doing HCG. I'm finished now. So thought about it, felt into it, muscle tested it, talked about it with my partner, and realized that my only option really was to go straight back onto phase 2 so that I'd be able to do that again and then redo phase 3 properly so that I would stabilize properly. And because I was within the 14 days, I knew I wouldn't have to reload, and I actually had 2 vials of HCG left, which is some sort of miracle, which meant that I had enough for basically exactly a 21-day round. And I suppose I could have just jumped back on and done 10 days just to quickly get rid of that fat from the milk, which I thought would come off pretty quickly. But I actually decided to do a full 21-day round because my reason for doing it is to have a really successful stabilization, so I wanted to do it by the book. So that would have been fine to go back on, even though I was sort of over it in my head, but I was happy to go back on it, and I found some ways to think about it to make it easy. But the catch was I was leaving the next day to go on a trip back home to my home city of Melbourne, massive city of 5 million people, you know, very, very busy place, and I was not going to have my own kitchen, and I was like, how am I going to do phase 2 here? And also, I had planned already to spend that 10 days catching up with all my close friends and family, so I had booked in breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, you know, every day, and it all involved cafes or restaurants and eating at people's houses, and I could have probably done it on phase 3, although I think it would have been a minefield eating in restaurants on phase 3. So in a way it was simpler to go back to phase 2, but it just made it a bit challenging because obviously I couldn't eat with anybody, but that was okay. Interestingly, I found it quite liberating to not even worry about food because I could really concentrate on my dear friends who I love, and I wasn't worrying about what to order or chewing or anything. I was just really present, 100% present with them, which was lovely. And I would just say to each person, you know, most of them I just said, look, I'm going out 4 times a day, you know, I'm not going to eat in restaurants 4 times a day. And people just assumed that that was for financial reasons because most people, it's a bit expensive to eat out 4 times a day. So I just said, oh, I've already eaten. And no one even blinked. A couple of my friends who know I'm doing HCG, I told them that I had had the milk disaster and I had to do my round again, and they laughed. But yeah, no one cared. It never came up. It wasn't a problem. So if any of you are ever worried about having to go to a social occasion when you're on phase 2, honestly, it's just not a problem. As soon as you give a reason like, oh, I've already eaten, or my partner made me a special meal today, which I've eaten and I'm full, or, you know, I'm on a detox, or, you know, I don't have the funds to eat in a restaurant every day, you know, people don't care. They forget about it straight away. They just enjoy your company. I just had a cup of herbal tea or sparkling water and I would sip that. You know, it was honestly totally fine. The much more difficult thing was that it was kind of like a military operation because I had so many people booked in, plus I had doctor's appointments, hairdressing appointments, you know, bits of shopping, things like that, to squeeze in between everyone. It was such a tight schedule, and I wanted to maximize the time with my friends and family and my errands and not maximize my time in between people. So I didn't leave myself much time in between everyone. So it was crazy. I basically would get up every morning like an hour and a half earlier than I would have and prepare P2 food for the whole day. Now that may not sound like much if you're in the first couple of rounds of HCG, but when you're right at the end like I am, I'm eating 700 or 800 calories because I'm hungry and I don't have much fat. I mean, I'm eating a lot of protein. So, and I really wasn't doing this round to lose more weight. I was just doing it to get through the 21 days so I could stabilize properly. So, you know, I wasn't trying to like eat 1200 calories or something. I just want to eat according to hunger. So I'd get up in the morning and prepare like a full day's worth of food on P2. You know, my egg whites for breakfast, had to do tin tuna in spring water and some sort of sauerkraut, or cut up a cucumber for lunch. I have to cook my fish and one vegetable for dinner. I'd pre-cook all that in the morning, and then I'd make a whole bunch of protein shake, which I would, when I was staying at a friend's house that had a blender, that was easy, but I also stayed at a friend's house who didn't have a blender, so I just shake, 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 and that was my protein shake in one of those shakers. So I'd make enough protein shake for 2 shakers plus a little bit extra that I would freeze, and then late that night I would have it as a dessert because I love protein shakes frozen. It turns into like a frozen ice creamy thing. And the other thing that I'd do is I would cut up some celery, so I'd have that as a snack. A few times I'd put a handful of mac nuts in my little bag, like 4 or 5, 6 mac nuts maximum, just in case I really got hungry. Because I noticed that in that 10 days I was much hungrier than I was when I did the pre-milk round, because when I was here doing it I was just like lazing around, working at my own pace, have a very quiet lifestyle. But when I was on my trip back to Melbourne, I was like military operation. I was running around, catching trams, getting taxis, you know, driving here. I was just constantly frenetic, and it made me much hungrier than I was here. So I needed a few mac nuts here and there, a little bit extra protein. And the last thing I did was I discovered something that we don't have here where I'm living, and I made the most of it. They sell a brand of yogurt there in one particular supermarket, which I discovered the first morning I was there. It's a brand you have in America called Chobani. They had the 0.0 fat-free one there. Oh my god, it's really high protein, very low sugar, no carb. Perfect. So I would make myself 1 serve of that each day as well, with some little bit of cocoa powder or stevia or PB2 or something in it, just to give it some flavour. And that was one of my snacks for high protein, or I put some protein powder in it as well. So I managed pretty well just doing that every day. I became super organised, like when I'd gone camping. I mean, I think you can do phase 2 when you're travelling. You can do phase 2 when you're camping. You can do it. You just have to be organised. So if you get any message from this blog, don't worry if you have to go away while you're doing it. Just get up early, prepare your food. I took them with me in little baggies, or I had this little ice chest thingy that's sort of cute, like a little handbag. I should have got it and showed you, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to carry it around with me with my handbag. No one even noticed. You know, it was funny because in between my friends, I quickly dash around the corner and eat my tuna, you know, standing in the street, go back into the next restaurant and sit down with the next person. And then in between those, I'd rush out, have a few bites of celery, and then come back in. I mean, it was so funny, but I had to do it. It was crazy.